Night Terrors Shazam, issue 2, Mark Waid writing and Roger Cruz on the art. So, this, I think the art in this is pretty nice. I think Mark Waid has done a better job at writing these tie-ins than just about anyone else. Unfortunately, by the end, it still falls victim to just being a tie-in to an event that we don't like.
It has a formula a lot. It boils down to, Mary, teach them the magic word, and then, move on.
Yeah.
I wish we had spent more time with Mary going through, her own fears being, the older sister to Billy and the family.
Yeah, this is the other problem with all these 2-issue tie-ins, is that even if a writer does come up with a good story, they've only got 2 issues to tell it in. So I appreciate the intent here of Mary realizing she does have the power to say Shazam, and then she flies through the dreams of all of her family members to make sure they're okay, and effectively, so she goes to Darla first, right? And I like that, and I think the voice here for Mary is great, saying, I'll go to Darla first. Darla's always first because she's the baby, she's the kid,
she's
right?
She's the little,
yeah. And saying, okay, you've got this fear of all these giants which represent grown-ups. Hey, here's the power of Shazam, and gives her the power. Same with Eugene, same with Pedro, so on and so forth. Everyone with Billy, because Billy's not there. And
I did get a laugh out of Freddy, because his nightmare was just this wacky, his head's bigger or smaller.
It was smaller, yeah. It looked really small.
And stuff. And Mary just looks and goes, Freddy knows what to do. Right? Which I did get a kick out of that.
Yeah, Pedro just needs clothes on. He's having the classic I'm naked talking to class dream. And so the insomnia version of Billy is chasing her throughout these dreams and eventually catches up to her. They have this fight. And there's a great 2-page spread where he punches her through what looks like multiple dreams. And it's all these strips of color. It's really nice. So the craft is really good, and then there's this great sequence after that where he's holding her in his hands, and it's like he's getting bigger, but the panel stays focused on Mary, and you just see like he gets big and goes out of frame to the point where he's just like a fist coming in from the side. And that's really the sequential art's really good in that sense.
No, Roger Cruz is really good, and it's like he's overshadowing her, right? She's very much in Billy's shadow, no matter what she does, no matter how good she is, and that's the commentary that I really dig from Waid.
And that's her fear. And then the surprise ending is that the rest of the family she's all went to help have all figured out how to travel the dreams as well and come to help her. Again, how does this link up with the logic over all of these dreams and who's dreaming together and how can you move just from one to the other? Don't ask. It's all a bit fuzzy. Just go with it.
Well, and just like the parents, you would think they don't know about us having the power of Shazam, so I can't teach them the magic word. Well, if it's a dream logic, why not? They would just have a dream.
To be fair, I think these parents do know, though, right? They know.
I thought so, but they don't have the power of Shazam. But it's a dream. Why can't they? You know what I mean? Why can't they be the mom and dad Shazam, right? That was just a little nitpick.
I kind of got that, and it was kind of nice that it was they're there for each other, so they'll fight side by side with swords, kind of thing, in their pirate dream. That was all right to me. I don't like the ending too much though, where Mary wakes up and then she sees Insomnia outside the window and she's like, holy shit, is he real or am I still dreaming? That ending just kind of felt like and there's a few of these tie-ins that end this way this week where it's to be continued in Night Terrors Night's End, which is the one shot coming later in the month,
the Omega,
and I just kind of felt I don't know, I felt like you could have just ended your story, but of course they want everyone to be invested in the main thing. So I think the first issue was better because it was more focused on Mary. I like the overall ideas of this one, the sentiment behind it, but it still kind of falls victim to one, having to squeeze it all into an issue, and two, still having to do the cliffhanger at the end for the event when really this could have just been self-contained, Yeah,
I agree. I just, anytime Mary can get the spotlight, I'm there for it. And I really like Waid's voice from her because it does fall in line with the Josie Campbell Mary that we got shortly before this.
I said last month that I was glad that he picked a different character to follow because it made it feel more worthwhile. And I still feel that way, but I do think that part 2 suffered more from being part of the event than part 1 did to me.
For sure. Yeah, and it was partially that formula too for just flying through and waking them up, and I would have liked a little bit more just about Mary and Billy, and her being the older sister, but Billy's the main focus of everything, and all of that. I thought that stuff really hit.
It does, give me the confidence that Mark's not going to forget about Mary and the main run. There's going to be inclusion for everyone, and that's good. Yeah. But and the art is, like Roger Cruz, I don't necessarily always love his more cartoony faces. I mean, I like cartoony faces from different artists. His don't always completely work for me, but his layouts and his kind of clean line work do look good. And like, there's some good double page spreads, there's some good layouts. And some inventive stuff in here. So
we read Cruz of Flash, right? He was one of Adams's go-to guys.
He was in Flash, and I think he also popped up in like some Supergirl stuff at one point. And I feel like he was in something. He bounces around a lot of DC stuff recently. He's one of their like go-to sort of secondary artists, I'd say, right now.
Yeah. And so it's very consistent all throughout, and like you were saying, his layouts are really, really fun. The stuff with the dreams, we get some laughs out of it, which is nice in a horror. Comedy popping up in horror is always a relief. So, but yeah, much. I'm sad that we don't get anything else from the Shazam family, because I'm not reading Black Adam, right? Out of this, like I feel like some of these characters we could have gotten versus some of the other tie-ins, right? Like. I do want to know what Billy's up to right now. Why wasn't he the focus here? So,
we'll see. I mean, he's the main character in the ongoing book. You'll have him next month. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I know, but it was just like I'm glad that we got to be with Mary, but like, where was Billy in all of this? He is Earth's mightiest mortal, So that's really just my problems with this book come down to nitpicks.
He's away for the weekend. Like, I don't know. It's just it comes down to that. He wanted to focus on Mary, so it just does. Billy's away. Yeah, that's it. All right. What you rating?
I'm gonna give this a 7.
6.5 for me.
Okay.
I think it's just a little bit weaker on that first one. I appreciate it more than some of the tie-ins, but it suffers from just being a tie-in to an event, basically.